Imagine a world where reptilian overlords secretly control the Earth. Sounds like a plot of a sci-fi movie, right? But for some, it's a startling reality. Welcome to the intriguing world of reptilians, a concept that will make any sci-fi enthusiast's heart race. The theory suggests that our world is not what we think it is. Instead, it is secretly controlled by reptilians, a race of human-lizard hybrids that have been here far longer than us mere humans. Picture this, a civilization of beings who look like us, talk like us, but beneath their human disguise, they are cold-blooded reptiles with a complex network of control that spans the globe. That's the basic premise of the reptilian theory, a belief that has both fascinated and terrified people for decades. Now you might be wondering, where did such an outlandish theory originate? Well, it's not a product of modern-day imagination, but rather an idea that has roots in ancient civilizations and their myths. The belief in lizard people or serpent gods is not new. Many ancient cultures, from the Egyptians to the Aztecs, revered or feared reptilian entities. These ancient tales have been reinterpreted and reimagined over the centuries, leading to the modern theory of reptilian overlords. While it's easy to dismiss this as pure fantasy, it's worth noting that the theory has gained traction in recent years. It's not just the fringe believers anymore. The reptilian theory has found its way into mainstream conversations thanks to the internet and the proliferation of conspiracy theories. We live in a world that loves a good mystery, and the idea of reptilian overlords certainly fits the bill. It's a tale of power, deception, and ancient civilizations, a narrative that captivates the imagination and leaves us questioning the nature of our reality. Before dismissing this as pure fantasy, let's delve deeper into the origins of this belief. The belief in reptilians is not a recent phenomenon. It has roots that go back to ancient civilizations. Our journey into the origins of the reptilian theory takes us back thousands of years to the cradle of civilization itself, Mesopotamia. Here, the ancient Sumerians and Babylonians held a belief in reptilian entities. Their mythology is ripe with tales of gods with serpentine attributes, such as the Sumerian deity Ningit-Zida, often depicted as a serpent with a human head known as the Lord of the Tree of Truth. These ancient cultures were not alone in their reverence for serpent beings. The concept of reptilian or serpent gods can be found in various cultures spanning the globe. In the ancient Egyptian pantheon, the god Sobek was depicted with the head of a crocodile. In the Far East, dragons, essentially serpentine beings, were revered and feared, seen as symbols of power, wisdom, and the primal forces of nature. Across the Atlantic, the Mayans worshipped the vision serpent, a divine creature that served as a gateway to the spiritual world. Further north, the Hopi people of North America have legends of ant people, beings that lived underground and aided humans during times of strife. These ant people are often depicted with reptilian features. In the ancient Hindu texts, the Nagas were semi-divine serpent beings that lived in an underground city called Patala. They were associated with water and fertility, but also portrayed as protectors and bringers of knowledge. This recurring theme of serpent or reptilian beings associated with knowledge, power, and the spiritual realm is a fascinating common thread woven through the tapestry of human mythology. It's like a universal archetype, a shared symbolic language that resonates within the collective unconscious of humanity. These ancient beliefs laid the foundation for the modern reptilian theory. They planted the seeds that would later grow into a complex, multifaceted belief system, one that continues to captivate and intrigue us to this day. And as we delve deeper into this theory, we'll find that the roots of these ancient myths are entwined with our modern understanding in ways that are both unexpected and profound. Fast forward to the 20th century, the reptilian theory took a new turn with the works of British conspiracy theorist David Icke. David Icke, a former footballer and television presenter, emerged as a peculiar figure in the world of conspiracy theories during the late 20th century. His theory, which he has passionately defended in his books and speeches, is that a race of reptilian beings from the Alpha Draconis star system have been ruling the world for millennia. Icke suggests that these reptilian entities, which he refers to as the archons or Anunnaki, have the ability to shapeshift and manipulate human perception. They do this, according to Ika, to maintain power, instigate wars, and control the global economy. His theory goes further to postulate that these reptilians are not just remote controllers, but are among us, masquerading as high-profile figures. Presidents, prime ministers, corporate executives, even royalty, none are beyond suspicion in Ika's worldview. These shape-shifting reptilians, he claims, are able to maintain their human form by consuming human blood. It's a chilling idea, one that resonates with ancient myths and legends of blood-drinking creatures and demons. Ika also suggests that these beings operate mostly in the fourth dimension, a realm beyond the perception of our everyday three-dimensional reality. This, he says, is how they're able to manipulate events without us being aware of their presence or influence. Now, it's worth noting that Ika's ideas have received considerable criticism, often dismissed as delusional and unfounded. But despite the skepticism, Ika's theories have found traction. They've sparked debates, inspired works of fiction, and yes, have garnered a significant following. Whether you view them as outlandish theories or revelatory truths, there's no denying that David Ika's ideas have had a profound impact on the modern interpretation of the reptilian theory. Ika's theories may seem outlandish, but they have garnered a significant following. The reptilian theory, like any other conspiracy theory, has its believers and skeptics. The belief in the existence of reptilians is more widespread than one might initially think. There are countless forums, blogs, and even dedicated websites that delve into the theory with fervor. These believers, often referred to as truthers, argue that the evidence is there, if only we look. They point to historical accounts, myths, and legends from around the world, all seemingly pointing to the existence of a reptilian race. However, it's not just the ancient history they focus on. Modern sightings and experiences, often shared online, add fuel to their belief. They claim to see signs of reptilian influence everywhere, from politics to entertainment. Some even go as far as to suggest that specific public figures are in fact reptilians in disguise. On the other side of the coin are the skeptics. These individuals often hail from scientific and academic communities, but not exclusively. They argue that the reptilian theory is nothing more than a modern myth, a conspiracy theory born out of a desire to make sense of an increasingly complex world. They point to a lack of concrete, verifiable evidence as their main argument against the theory. The criticism goes even deeper, with some skeptics suggesting that the reptilian theory is not just unlikely, but actually harmful. They argue that it distracts from real, tangible issues we face as a society, and in some cases, even fuels harmful ideologies and prejudices. Despite these criticisms, the theory continues to persist. The believers stick to their guns, often dismissing the skeptics as either misguided or as part of the very conspiracy they seek to expose. This push and pull between believers and skeptics fuels the debate, keeping the theory alive and kicking. So where does this leave us? Well, as with any theory, belief or skepticism often comes down to personal perspective. The debate around the reptilian theory is a testament to the complexity of human belief and our desire to seek out the unknown. Despite the criticism, the belief in reptilians continues to persist. The reptilian theory has not just remained in the shadows of conspiracy circles, but has also found its way into popular culture. Delving into the world of movies, the reptilian archetype has been a staple in science fiction and fantasy. We've seen them as the antagonistic alien race in films like V, where humanoid reptiles aim to take over Earth. The theme is powerful because it plays upon our inherent fear of the unknown, of being infiltrated and dominated by a superior cold-blooded species. In animation and children's programming, the reptilian character often takes a different approach, offering a more comedic or light-hearted representation. Take, for instance, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a group of anthropomorphic reptiles who are, in fact, the heroes of the story. It's a playful flip of the script that subverts the typically menacing portrayal of reptiles in media. Moving on to literature, we find a wealth of reptilian characters and themes. In Robert E. Howard's Conan the Barbarian series, we encounter the Serpent Men, a race of shape-shifting reptiles that have infiltrated human society. Similarly, in China Mieville's Perdido Street station, the Vodianoi are a race of water-dwelling amphibian-like beings, showcasing a more sympathetic portrayal of reptilian characters. In television, we see examples like the Silurians from Doctor Who, an ancient, intelligent reptilian species that coexisted with dinosaurs. Their representation adds depth to the reptilian archetype, portraying them not as invaders, but as Earth's original inhabitants. And let's not forget video games, where reptilian characters and themes are also prominent. From the Argonians in the Elder Scrolls series to the Yoshi species in the Super Mario franchise, these games demonstrate a range of interpretations of the reptilian archetype, from the sinister to the friendly. It's clear that the reptilian theory, whether believed or not, has left an indelible mark on our culture. From the terrifying to the whimsical, from the villainous to the heroic, the influence of the reptilian theory on popular culture is undeniable. The influence of the reptilian theory extends beyond pop culture and has had real-world implications. Indeed, the belief in reptilians, whether you consider it a fringe theory or a fascinating sci-fi concept, has influenced people's behavior and actions in surprising ways. It has seeped into the fabric of our lives, affecting our perceptions and interactions, not unlike any other influential narrative or ideology. Take, for instance, the world of politics. Some believers in the reptilian theory scrutinize politicians and world leaders with an unusual lens, suspecting them of being reptilian shapeshifters in disguise. This belief has led to a unique form of political skepticism, where the actions of leaders are dissected not just for their political implications, but also for potential signs of extraterrestrial influence. The reptilian theory has also found its way into the realm of social media and online communities. Forums and discussion groups dedicated to the theory have sprung up across the internet, fostering a community of believers who share theories, sightings, and alleged evidence of reptilian existence. These online spaces serve as both a support network for believers and a platform for the spread and evolution of the theory. Moreover, the theory has influenced personal behaviors and beliefs. Some individuals convinced of the reptilian presence have reported changing their lifestyle habits, from what they eat to how they interact with others, in an attempt to resist potential reptilian manipulation. And let's not forget the impact on entertainment. The reptilian theory has sparked a plethora of creative works, from novels and films to video games and music. These works not only entertain, but also perpetuate the theory, embedding it further into our cultural consciousness. In essence, the reptilian theory has shaped our society in subtle yet significant ways. It's an intriguing example of how a seemingly outlandish concept can gain traction and influence human behavior and societal dynamics. The reptilian theory, regardless of its truth, has had a significant impact on our society. Now, the million-dollar question: are reptilians real? Diving headfirst into the realm of the unknown, we find ourselves wrestling with this tantalizing question. The concept of reptilians, of human-like creatures with a flick of the scales and a dash of the cold-blooded, is undeniably intriguing. But when it comes to concrete evidence, the scales tip heavily towards the realm of fiction. Let's take a closer look. Many proponents of the reptilian theory point towards ancient cultures, citing serpentine gods and half-human, half-reptile entities as proof of their existence. But these symbols and myths, fascinating as they may be, do not equate to tangible evidence of real, breathing reptilians. These depictions are just as likely to be metaphors, allegories, or reflections of the human psyche as they are to be literal descriptions of otherworldly beings. From a scientific perspective, the theory of reptilians is met with a sizable dose of skepticism. Biology, anthropology, and genetics are disciplines rooted in empirical study and evidence. They paint a picture of human evolution that's firmly grounded in the primate family tree, with no room for scaly branches. The idea of an advanced reptilian race living among us in disguise contradicts everything we know about the natural world. But let's not forget the psychological angle. The belief in reptilians could be seen as a manifestation of our deep-seated fears and anxieties. Perhaps it's easier to believe in a hidden enemy, an other to blame for the world's problems. than to confront the complex realities of human society. So are reptilians real? From a purely evidential standpoint, the answer is a resounding no. There is no hard proof, no smoking gun. Instead, we find a tapestry of mythology, speculation, and a deep human fascination with the unknown. While the existence of reptilians lacks empirical evidence, the belief in them remains strong. And as long as the allure of the unknown continues to captivate us, the enigma of the reptilians will live on. The reptilian theory, with its roots in ancient mythology and its impact on modern society, is a fascinating study in belief systems. As we've seen, this theory is not a new kid on the block. It's an idea that has been around for centuries, tracing back to ancient civilizations where serpentine gods were revered and feared. The modern interpretation of the reptilian theory took this ancient lore and added a dash of science fiction. The result? A captivating narrative of shape-shifting, interdimensional beings ruling our world from the shadows. A premise that has been fodder for countless books, movies, and conspiracy theories. Speaking of which, the cultural impact of the reptilian theory is undeniable. It has permeated popular culture, making its way into TV shows, films, and even music. Who could forget the iconic V series from the 80s, or the numerous references in comic books and video games? This reptilian influence has been pervasive, shaping our perception of extraterrestrial life and government conspiracies. But it's not just about entertainment. The theory has also had real-world implications. On one hand, it has fueled skepticism and distrust towards institutions. On the other, it has inspired a sense of wonder and curiosity about the unknown. It has given birth to a community of believers and skeptics alike, sparking debates and discussions around the globe. When we strip away the scales and the sensationalism, at its core, the reptilian theory is a reflection of our collective fears and fascinations. It's a mirror held up to society, reflecting our anxieties about power, control, and the unknown. It's a testament to the power of storytelling and its ability to shape perceptions and beliefs. Whether you believe in reptilians or not, there's no denying the intrigue and impact of this enduring theory. As we wrap up our exploration, remember theories like these are not just about what's out there in the cosmos. They are also about us, our fears, our hopes, and our never-ending quest to understand our place in the universe. So, are we really under the rule of reptilian overlords? Or is it all just a figment of our collective imagination? Our journey through the landscape of the reptilian theory has taken us down some fascinating rabbit holes. We've explored the origins of the theory, its modern interpretations, the believers and skeptics, its impact, and even its place in popular culture. But where does that leave us? Are we to accept the existence of these lizard people among us, or dismiss it as pure science fiction? Critical thinking is the cornerstone of any intellectual pursuit. It's our compass in the vast sea of information, our shield against misinformation, and our sword to cut through the fabric of unfounded theories. It's not about blindly accepting or rejecting ideas, but about questioning, probing, and seeking evidence. It's about maintaining a healthy level of skepticism, especially when we're faced with claims that seem too extraordinary. The reptilian theory, like any other, demands our scrutiny. It's a fascinating concept that's captured the imaginations of many, but it's also a theory that lacks solid, empirical evidence. It's a story that's weaved itself into the tapestry of our cultural and social discourse, yet it remains shrouded in mystery and speculation. That's not to say we should outright reject the theory. No, far from it. We should explore it, question it, scrutinize it. We should let it stoke the fires of our curiosity and drive us to seek the truth, whatever it may be. And in doing so, we should remember that the truth isn't always what we expect it to be. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. It's a wild, unpredictable beast that refuses to be tamed by our preconceived notions and expectations. But sometimes, just sometimes, fiction is just fiction. It's a product of our imagination, our creativity, our desire to make sense of the world around us. Remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, but sometimes fiction is just fiction.